Over the last 24 months, I've done 5 different projects sealing up cracks in concrete with 3 different products and using a few different techniques. So let's go through the good and the bad across these examples. I know with a lot of these videos we finish up, everything looks perfect, but there's a big question mark of how long does this stuff actually last. So first up is one of the newest examples, but it is also one of the most extreme. You can see some of these gaps are well over 2 inches and approaching 3 inches in width. I used Tremco's product, the Vulkem 45 SSL semi-self leveler, and then custom cut that pool noodle as a backer rod to fill the gap. You can see I have quite a bit of flex with that pool noodle in there, but the Vulkem has really attached well to the concrete and still is providing a great seal. And even though we're still early days with this seal only being exposed to the elements for about 4 weeks, I would say the 45 SSL is the real hero of this one. This pool noodle, almost 3-inch gap applications, a bit extreme to expect the sealant to hold up well when there's that much flex, but it's passing with flying colors. Now I can assure you all the examples today are not gonna be all wins. I have made quite a few mistakes. If you saw that video, you know I used C-clamps, some bottle jacks, some 4x4 posts. I lifted everything up and then drilled holes to spray great stuff foam below the sidewalk, filling in that gap and supporting the overall sidewalk. Within about 1 day, the sidewalks went from completely level to the previously lower sidewalk sinking back down about 3/4 of an inch. So the results are a bit mixed here. Now again, if we look at the Vulkem 45 semi-self leveler sealer with the sand on top, it looks great. It's bonding again, it's totally sealing up that crack. Now one thing I did learn from that is this had direct sunlight on it on about a 92 Fahrenheit day, and that is not ideal. You'll see these small bubbles forming if it's that hot. So what I would do is shade your sealant as it sets up, especially if it's that hot of a day in direct sunlight. So a little bit of mixed results on this one after that slab settled. Although it's in much better shape than it was before the project, it's not completely flush, which is where we left the video at the end of that project. So for the last example with the 45 SSL, this is on my driveway and it's a long expansion joint that I sealed up. Same thing, I sprinkled sand on top to help blend it in, but it is holding up like a champ. Again, just like all the other applications, but this one's got a little bit more age on it. So last one we'll really look at is about 24 months old. This is the oldest one in my first project that I was really sealing a gap and doing the prep work necessary to get a good product. Now this is a completely level surface between my garage and my driveway, so I used a self-leveling product from Sika. I did not sprinkle sand on top, although it might look like it just because all the dirt buildup over time. And also I did make a few mistakes. The first one is I had some gaps that were bigger than the backer rod to fill that in. You really want your backer rod to tightly press against the 2 sides of your concrete so it doesn't go anywhere. So what I had to do is I was braiding my backer rod together to get it wider. So I was putting a braid in there. Well, that has big gaps in it where the self-leveler is really gonna settle out. And you're either gonna have to use a ton of product, or if you have any gaps, the self-leveler is actually gonna drain down and you're gonna have divots like I do. Also in one part, the backer rod kind of floated up a bit so you can actually see it through the sealant. But like many of you, this was my first time, so you just really don't know what you don't know, and I made a few mistakes along the way, and it kind of looks like it's my first attempt.